Okay, so look, this video is in response to an email. Well, not an email, it's a, what do you call those on chat, on a Facebook Messenger um, DM. Um, this woman was asking me, um, what she say? How old would a child be, or must a child be, to really understand um, the concept of God and Jesus and all that? And I told her, when my children were young, I oftentimes held back and was a little bit reserved when it came to teaching them about God and all that, because I didn't think at those ages that they would understand. But I started noticing that my youngest, the baby, which is Abby, she could navigate a computer better than I could, because back then, we wasn't into computers, but they was teaching it at school. And she was teaching me about how to copy, paste, and navigate through the internet, find your email address, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, if you could do that and you can do all that, you can learn about God. Same with my sons and video games. And my youngest boy, he's autistic, but he could navigate video games and all that better than I could. And he could put his own Christmas toys together without me helping him, stuff like that. And the point I'm trying to make is, if they can learn things that are hard for us, then they should be able to learn things that is hard for them. And all of it's really not that hard. It all depends upon you, the teacher. There are ways that you can put it to a child where they can understand. There are examples even you can use to a child, that could help them understand. I mean, it's not really that hard. That's why Jesus says, unless you humble yourself as one of these little children, you won't enter the kingdom of heaven. What do you think that means? That means to humble yourself is to grasp the very basic principles of Christianity. Let's call it Christianity. I'm not a personal believer in quote-unquote Christianity as a religion, but let's call it that for the sake of the topic, okay? And furthermore, my granddaughter, and this was, she's 14 now, she was about 5 or 6. She could navigate an iPad. She would climb up on my bed and take my iPad out of my hand and start using it. And she knew where to go and how to find what she was, wanted to watch, what she was looking for. And they knew. I see young girls, babies twerking. They know how to cuss. They know what money is. So you see, if the child can learn all these other things, which are all worldly, she can learn Christ. And as young as you want to teach it to them, you know your own child, okay? You know what your child is smart enough to grasp and what might have to wait a little longer to grasp. We wait to talk about the birds and the bees with the children and all that. So yeah, and as we all know, children have babies as young as what, 14, 13, 12 now. And if God allows the body to conceive and deliver a child at that age, she can learn Christ. Again, now toddlers, we know toddlers can't, because all they know is their name and eat and cookies and all that. I ain't talking about toddlers. I'm talking about once they start walking and talking. Let's call it pre-kindergarten. Let's say preschool. I believe you should start at preschool. And how you do that is give them bit by bit, little bits, like you would with your food, like spoonfuls. You don't give a child a steak, you give it a bottle. And that's, in turn, spiritually, give them the same amount. And gradually, like with regular food, give it to them as they grow. But I don't believe that you should just do nothing and teach nothing until they get to an age, and then you dump it all on them. And they're like, whoa, So I just wanted to address that question, and I'm going to send her this video for reference, and maybe to help somebody else with it. Because as parents, we all really wonder in the back of our minds, just when is the right age to do this? When do we think they would understand? Again, it depends on you and your knowledge of it, and it depends on your child. What do you think your child is ready? Okay? So again, I've seen videos online of babies twerking, cussing, fighting, even in playful manners. But what I'm looking at is the ability to learn. That's what I'm looking at. And again, it depends on your child. So I say mix a little bit in with a preschool and gradually give it as they get older. But I do not recommend waiting till they get a certain age and then dumping it all on them. Because you'll notice that some kids, be already knowing these type things. And of course it impresses me. And it's a good look for their parents for teaching it to them that early. And they know it. And their friends be like, but yeah. So I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I just had to come by and address this DM I got on Facebook about when's the right age to teach your child about Christ. And I say again, let's begin at preschool and let it keep giving them a little bit on up. Okay? So I hope this helps. And as always, may God bless you and may God keep you. And I love you. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.